Aaron Judge hit his 62nd home run. It is an American League record. The 62nd home run. That ball, which was caught by a guy in the stands with a glove, is now worth anywhere from $2 to $4 million. Well, let's get into the record itself just for a second, guys. I know your son played professional baseball.
Right.
Cody, of course, played professional baseball. It's funny. It's the only record, I think, in all of professional sports in America where we divide leagues. Like, no one ever talks about what's the AFC record for rushing yards.
Right.
It's the only record I've ever thought of where that happens. And he said it, but it's not the overall record, which really shouldn't take away from what the guy accomplished.
Not at all. I mean, it's 62 home runs in a season. In fact, only 3 Yankees in the American League. And what you're saying about the league setup doesn't even matter anymore. But yeah, it's an incredible accomplishment. It's only happened 5 times ever. It's incredible.
And that includes guys that we know were juicing. But
Yeah.
So even getting to 60 isn't a major accomplishment. And I kind of feel like a guy that has to talk about what athletes do. I'm relieved because I know there's only one game left today. But it was either sit him down, don't play him, so I can stop talking about it, or hit the damn home run already, right?
I'm at a point to me where hitting one is an incredible accomplishment. I mean, until you've stood in a box and had somebody throwing 98 at you and then breaking off a hammer, like to me, it's the hardest thing in sports to do is to hit a baseball. I honestly don't know how you do it. And now I got guys, I'm watching pitchers throw 101 miles an hour with 8 inches of tail on the end of it. It's ridiculous. So I don't know how you do it. So to hit one is incredible.
I'm going to help you out. I'm going to walk you guys through how you do. Now, Cody hit more minor league home runs than any person living on the planet today, so he can speak this better than I can. Jesus grooved the pitch. Right? Like you can always count on Jesus. Once again, this is a provable fact. He throws a batting practice fastball right down the middle of the plate. Like, no joke. There's a chance I could hit that ball out of the ballpark.
Wait, there is no chance.
Zero.
That you can hit that ball.
Zero.
Zero chance.
Zero
chance.
I will go to any batting cage today with you. No way.
No, maybe you didn't hear me correctly. There's a chance. Like that ball, that ball is now.
You've got as much of a chance as Lloyd Christmas hooking up with that one chick, right? From Dumb and Dumber. You've got zero chance of hitting a homer.
You talk about going deep on the movie
Right.
references,
That's
but
not
I
that deep.
Lloyd
feel
Christmas
you.
is not that deep.
Classic. Dumb and Dumber?
Dumb
I
and
feel
Dumber?
you, Samsonite. I feel you.
Okay.
But yeah, like, so listen, he grooves a fastball. It doesn't mean Judge knows he's going to groove a fastball. And like, Mark, you're saying, you still got to hit the ball out of the park.
Right.
He could have hit a line drive off the wall. But he hits it. It's 62. It is historic. And now what? Does he play? Does he not play? If you got the ball, and apparently a VP of an investment company is the guy that caught the ball. But there was another guy out there that tried very hard to get that ball. And I think this is genius. As you watch the video, there's a guy on the left part of your screen there who on purpose jumps down from the front row down to behind the wall there. Because if that guy drops the ball, like the guy in Toronto did when he hit number 61, the guy that jumps down is a genius. He gets the ball that, again, is worth anywhere from $2 to $4 million.
Unless Bobby Wagner's in the bullpen, because he's going to kick his ass. If Bobby Wagner's in there for the Rams, you got no chance of getting that ball. He's going to lay you out.
You can show baseball, but the man knows football. You can show baseball, but somehow it always comes back to football. And now it's over, right? Now we can stop talking about it, and we can get ready for a little Major League Baseball playoffs. But
I want to ask Cody something really quick, because I look at this like, at some point, baseball's weird because rest does not help you. Rest helps you like for a day, maybe a day, but timing is everything in baseball. And you watch these teams get into like, sweep their series and have to wait around for a week before they play. Like they end up not hitting, not pitching, not doing anything well. So there's a fine balance there between resting a guy like Aaron Judge and having him play. depending on production, right?
Well, the one thing that's really interesting, because this year the playoffs, we're having our first ever bye, and the Yankees have a bye going into this playoff series. We don't know. This is going to be the first time we ever see a team, whether or not they're going to get cold or out of their sync in timing, or if they're going to need the actual break. Aaron Judge has played every day for the past 30 days. This guy needs a break.
Yeah, it shows you how important the record was to him. When records get broken, a lot of other athletes come out to appreciate the accomplishment of an individual ball player. Micah Parsons, the great Dallas Cowboy defensive player, was at the game. You can see right there. Had Aaron Judge autograph a ticket, not for monetary purposes, but he's there. He's a part of history, right? And if you can be a part of history, I think it shows you the respect that guys like you guys have for guys like Aaron Judge who accomplished something. We can talk all day and night that Barry Bonds has the record. I believe he does because I watched it. He's got 73. But it doesn't take away from what Aaron Judge did. And to be fair, if you watch sports at all over the last couple of weeks, like every network did cut-ins to the chase for 62, originally the chase for 61. So you can't minimize it now after the fact. You could talk day and night about what the record is. There's an American League record. He has it. There's a baseball record. Barry Bonds has it. Now, one of the guys who is a fan of Aaron Judge and is anti-anybody involved with steroids, of course, is Roger Maris Jr. But to be fair, Roger Maris Jr. goes as the wind goes. Because I have a photograph of him a few years back when Mark McGwire first broke his dad's record. And that's a much younger Roger Maris Jr. And it looks to me like he's hugging Mark McGwire.
But that was before he knew about the steroid use.
We all knew. The guy, he had Andro in his locker. What are you talking about?
But so what? It was not. When he was breaking that record and baseball was coming back and they were going back and forth, he and Sosa, nobody was going, yeah, but he's on roids at that point, right? So he breaks the record, he gets a hug, and then it all comes out. Is that not fair?
That's not fair.
It is fair.
No, you can ask me again. My answer's not going to change. It's not fair because, listen, the nation celebrated Sosa and McGwire.
Yes,
Every game sold out on the road for both those guys. We celebrated 59, 60, 61, and on and on and on. We didn't celebrate it as much with Bonds because Bonds was more unlikable to a lot of people.
Sure.
And it was obvious he'd been doing stuff. But, listen, it wasn't outlawed by the game. So the rub in all this is, without getting too in the weeds on it, is if the game allows you to do it, did you do anything wrong? And, that's a question for the ages. I respect what those guys did because taking steroids doesn't make you a better hitter. It might make you stronger. I believe in that. But listen, the reality is that Roger Maris Jr., if I hit 62, would find me and hug me.
Right.
Because, it don't matter if I did steroids, if I didn't do steroids. So you break his dad's record, oh, my man.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. We hug it out. And by the way, now that he did it, now we got to find ways to monetize it, of course. And there's a T-shirt company that's already doing it. They've got shirts. The Aaron Judge Home Run Tour. Kind of like it's a concert, right?
Sure.
And every date, every stadium, and however many home runs he hit. So we have to get on that after the show today. If they're monetizing it, we got to get on that train and start making some extra money here, right?
I dig it.
Just so I can afford better shirts, that's all.
Oh,
now,
I like that
your son, if I may say, respectfully, has a connection to a big home run, a historic home run.
Yeah.
He gave up the Jim Thome
number 600.
Number 600.
Yeah.
So after the fact, because no pitcher wants to give up a home run, except for the guy that grooved the fastball last night. Does there come a point where he says, I'm proud to be a part of the history, or is it always a negative?
No. I think there's a part one because Jim Thome is one of the most classy people on the planet,
good
right?
dude.
And so after my son, gave up this homer, he gave up number 600 to Jim. Like he came over to the locker room, he gave him a signed bat. It was one of those things that was really. You never want to give up a homer, but I will say this: it's better to give up a homer in the big leagues than it is in the minor leagues. You know why? Because you're in the freaking big leagues.
Fact.
That's why.
Fact.
So, listen, you're going to give up homers occasionally, and Jim Thome is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the great baseball players we have ever witnessed.
Yeah.
And I think, you're disappointed, but at the end of the day, it's kind of cool.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to move to my right, so if you can follow me here, just because I don't know exactly how Mark's going to respond to this question, okay?
All right.
And I'm going to look at the camera, not at him, just in case, so I can see him coming out of my peripheral. Did your son groove the fastball to him?
No, that was a hammer. That was a curveball. It hung a little bit.
Did he tell him he was throwing a curveball?
No, he didn't. No, absolutely.
Are you sure?
Absolutely not.
Positive he
Yeah,
didn't?
I'm pretty positive he did not want to give up a homer because listen, if you walked a guy or gave up a homer under at the time it was Jim Leland, he would send you to. He would come out when he gave the ball to you.
Yeah.
Like my son would try out of the bullpen and he'd give you the ball and go, "Hey, if you walk anybody, I'm going to send you to the minors tomorrow." Yeah. And then he'd walk. Yeah, that's
He's
Jim
just sitting there with a cigarette, just like, "Give me the ball. You're going back to Toledo."
Yeah, he's smoking a heater and going, "Hey, let me just tell you what's going to happen."
By the way, little known fact: Jim Leland, one of the great lounge singers in this country.
Really?
Yeah, and you wouldn't think it because he's got the gruff voice and smokes and all and drinks all and stuff. One of the great lounge singers.
Is he really?
Yeah. That 1 year is with the Rockies. When you were in Denver still.
Sure, yeah.
He and I would spend a lot of time at the Chop House in downtown Denver, drinking and singing.
Really?
Well, I did the drinking. He did both.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.